So I want to go over warranties and agreements based on AP 115. We need to be able to create recurring payments for warranties and agreements. Okay, so let's go to Addo. We're going to take a look at what these agreements are. Agreements are basically like a home warranty or like insurance for something, like a maintenance insurance for something that I signed up through Right Time. And so let's say somebody came out to my house and they fixed the refrigerator, and basically they say, hey, we have this thing called parts and labor, or what's it called, like a tri-ban or 1 hour agreement, which basically covers any parts and labor for X amount of time or X amount of visits, and it's like $300 annually, and it covers all these things. Well, they sign up for this, agreement here, and it's attached to a physical location. So if I were to go look up, let's say my house, we click on physical location, and there's this place called agreements. And agreements, we're going to add it through this template. We sold it at 10/17/2014. We're going to start it on 10/7/2014. End date would be 11/17/2014. I know like they would have to manually do this right now, but hopefully one day we can automatically fill this out based on the template, which is this, like what number of years and all that, so it automatically sets and starts, or once we started, it automatically set the end date based on this. Sold by CSR or Tech, what kind of discounts are applied based on this agreement, and recurring billing, yes. What is the amount? So $299 or something like that. And then we click confirm. So now my physical location here, 20 Gramercy Irvine, has this agreement, and I set it over here for $299 annually. But in the system, as of right now, if I set this on a job that I did today, how will I know when this is due again, right? Let's say I bill them this today, or actually even if I were to do this today, how would I charge them this amount? So we need an agreement manager, which basically if I set them up here in their agreement on their physical location, somewhere in the system, I guess we could put it under reports, but it's actually an accounting thing, so we could put agreement manager or warranties here. Or we can also put it under AR, which is what agreements are, because it is a receivable. We need to basically find, which of the agreements in our system are due for renewal, and outstanding, basically payments that we need to collect from customers based on the type of agreement they've bought. If you looked at the agreement, there's like a couple of different ways that that they can actually sign up for it. There's like monthly agreements, I think, where they pay a monthly fee of like $30 to cover any of these fixes, and that's basically found here on the agreement template, which is like the visits per year, or the term, which is annual, biannual, quarterly. However, based on this, it should basically break this down into payments or something like that. So once they set this up in the template, then they load it, and most of this should actually load, like how their billing scheme is, right? So let's say I have this parts and labor, and it's a 3 visits per year. It lasts 1 year, and there's three visits, right? Number of visits, because it's just years times visits per year. And let's say this agreement is set for $299 in the system, and based on the term we select, it basically breaks up these payments into months or quarters, or semi-annual or annual. I know right now in our agreement manager, I don't think this is a part of it, right? We can't set the price here. I think that we might need to take that and add that here, so that it automatically kind of fills out when we're here, inside of a customer's account, or like their physical location. But that's what an agreement is. It's basically like a reoccurring billing service, which allows them to get coverage on, their location. So depending on what type of agreement is on their home, they're basically able to give certain types of discounts to a customer, or give certain types of visits to this customer based on this type of agreement. Because you don't want to bill somebody if they have an agreement and they're supposed to be given this visit. So the other thing about this is that I guess every time a job is scheduled, it has to count how many out of the agreement has been used. I don't know how we're going to track that right now. I know right now in the system that isn't tracked currently. But under a job, it does give you the, which agreement are you using. This says number 1. I think that's because for this account, this is number 1. Or, whatever it is. But basically, when I use this on a job for this location, it should deduct how many visits I get based under this agreement, right? This is, agreement offered. I guess on the sales call they can offer these agreements as well. But this comes down to, adding a transaction on a particular account, right? So let's say it's not a job, it's actually on the physical location, because this is a warranty for the physical location. They may just call them, and if there is no warranty, they may just sell them straight here. So I guess under physical location and under the agreements, we're going to probably need some sort of way to track, what agreements are they signed up for, and how their billing is going to work, which I guess this is it here, but there's no like transactions of, oh, this is paid or this is open, or and then as far as accounting goes, agreement manager should basically allow me to go into the system and pull a report today and say, okay, how many people are coming up for renewals in the next 30 days or next quarter. That way I know I can follow up with these customers and say, hey, it's time to renew your agreement with us, or schedule an appointment with them based on that. So it's a tool for them to basically upsell their services, and that's what the agreement and warranties are. I say agreement, but it's actually like a warranty / insurance for a physical location like my home. I want to be covered that way that I don't have to spend like extra money, like a lot more extra money every time I have to call somebody just in case something goes wrong. It's like an assurance program for customers in this industry. And that's how George was actually been able to be so successful, is that a lot of his business is generated based on existing customers. And being able to track that in the system is really important for any service type industry or any service business here. So that's basically how agreements work and how warranties go. You create the template here first, agreement templates here. You add it to a location here, let's say my house. We need to be able to keep track of like agreements, visits and stuff based on agreement. So if I expanded this, maybe we can add like a transaction or history of this agreement being used for this account. And then we need a place here to basically keep track of money that's owed to us, or up and coming renewals that are based on the date set inside this agreement in the physical location. So I hope that makes sense as far as agreements and warranties go. This is probably one of the only things that actually have a reoccurring transaction on an account or on a customer, and it's really important because we need to also be able to run payment on this AR section for any particular agreement that a customer has. Alright, so that's all for agreements and warranties. I'm sure you're going to have questions. Just Skype me, I should be available, or just call me if you have any other questions as far as how that goes. Alright, thanks, Jan.